All right, everybody, welcome. I'm not even going to bother to try to see what week it is. I know that it's the last week before playoffs because playoffs is starting on Saturday and Sunday, whether we like it or not. It is day 3 or maybe day 4 of Super Week because we don't have anything else to call it. A little bit of round 4, a little bit of round 5. I'm Jaws, joined by Rudy, and we're going to see Team Lemonade facing off against Inting Toasters Inc. in what is effectively a Rubik's Cube of a playoff situation. How are you feeling about this matchup and playoffs, Rudy?
Man, I am feeling great. It's so good to be here with you tonight. As you said, it is Super Week. Big shout out to the commissioner for all the hard work he puts in to get this scheduled and put this tournament on for us. But man, we have quite the match with some heavy playoff implications in for us tonight.
Yeah, we really do. And if we could take a look at the playoff picture real quick as the teams load up into the lobby, TLA really has, for the most part, their fate in their own hands. There is one very specific situation where a win for them will not secure a number 2 seed and a first round bye in playoffs. And that is actually scenario number 4 if Joa knocks out the San Antonio Spurs as well as our crowd control. So if Joa wins out, Joa could actually play spoiler. And the craziest thing about that scenario is that Joa could actually snipe the number 2 seed from TLA, even if TLA wins. On the other side, Inting Toasters Inc., a little bit of a tougher path, not as much fate in their own hands. Their fate really is actually, once again, in the hands of Joa. So a lot of people, TLA really wants Joa to lose out. INT wants Joa to win out, but either team has to win tonight in order to put themselves in contention for that number 2 seed and the first round bye. And Rudy, that first round bye, it could be a double-edged sword, but for the most part, you get to see a lot from the other teams and a lot less straining on the mental.
Absolutely. I mean, just having the first round bye in a 6 seed tournament, or sorry, 8, takes away so much of that just ability to throw, right? I mean, this is not even a semi-professional league. We're all out here having a good time, and at any point in time, anyone can get the advantage and take a series out from under you. We've had a lot of teams come from behind and just run it up in the brackets. So having the chance to sit back, watch the other teams duke it out, and just get one step closer to that championship is always a good feeling.
And also, friendly reminder, folks, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, the last seed, the number 6 seed from last season actually it made it all the way to finals, or at least semis. So anything can happen once playoffs is happening. So while seeding, very important, it is not the end-all, be-all, because you still got to play the games. And a best of 5 is a totally different animal than a best of 3.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But it all starts here tonight with the wild matchup we have between Inting Toasters Incorporated and Team Lemonade, 2 teams that are fighting for that playoffs position.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we're still kind of waiting for the last folks to get into the lobby, Rudy, where are you looking in terms of these matchups?
I am going to be very interested to see how the mid lane matchup plays out. We have I'll Take Mid, just historic, classic assassin go-in player, versus Sandy Snake, who is just so comfortable in all of those control majors, like the king of positioning throughout lane, and really good at playing safe, scaling with his team, and taking advantage of others' mistakes. So it's going to be explosive. We'll have to see what these junglers are able to do. What about you?
I was going to say the jungle matchup is absolutely where I'm looking. Caridian has just made an absolute statement. I believe he is almost undefeated. Can I get a correction? Is he undefeated since he has joined the league, Mr. Producer?
I think he is.
All right, confirmation. Shout out to Droid, by the way, on the production. Yep, 2-0, 2-0, 2-2-0s, I believe. So Caridian absolutely making a statement since joining the Inting Toasters Inc., literally flipping their fate from a team definitely on the way down all the way to a team who could potentially grab a first round bye. On the other side, Tony, newcomer, all over the place. Even though they lost last on Monday, I remember casting that series. Tony really showing up on that Graves and giving the Boomer Bombers a run for their money, despite a 2-0 win for the Boomer Bombers.
Yeah, I mean, Caridian has given new life not only to this team, but honestly to a bit of this league. Coming in here and just shaking things up so drastically since Spartan self imploded. It's been great to see because not only has he come in and gotten his team a couple of wins under the belt, but also he's done it so aggressively. And I love to watch aggressive jungle play. Caridian pulling out all sorts of picks to keep things interesting, exciting, and explosive.
Yeah, exactly. I will say the jungle matchup definitely going to be interesting as we are into champion select. Top lane on the other side, we're expecting just a tank fight, just tank slap fight, weak side. There may be one or two ganks depending upon if one top laner overextends, but I'm expecting legit fireworks in the bot lane. Tail whip versus Speedy. That's going to be a fun one. So I'm expecting strong side bot, a lot of mid ganks, a lot of outplays, and Dragon being big time on the menu for both of these junglers as Caitlyn, the first ban away for Inting Toasters Inc.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we have a lot of crossover in terms of champ pools throughout a lot of the map. As we said, mid on the assassins, Snake on the control mages. Tailwhip and Speedy both play everything. They're both very, very competent ADCs. But as you see, that first ban for the side of Lemonade, taking away that Seraphine, just such a safe pick for them to sit back and scale into the late game on. And you know Tailwhip will do it any chance he gets. But Lemon and Tactics. Tactics, another one of those thresh mains that we have in this Discord. And yep, there it is, taken away.
Yes, and the Ornn taken away from music. He's proven time and time again that he is incredibly good on that champion, absorbing as much pressure as he could on the weak side against TJ. Probably the strongest top laner individually in the league, as Kindred is taken away from Tony, another a carry jungler that he has shown some serious firepower. So if I had to look into my crystal ball, I'd say that Inting Toasters Inc. is looking for some, flash boom bang punch you in the mouth team fight comp.
That's great. I love that from them and for them. As you called that, the top lane could just be a slap fight. There's a couple of bruisers they both like to play as well. But gosh, wouldn't it be great if we got to see microscopic Rick on Teemo just once
It
this
would be
season?
great. It would be great. I mean, the other picks we got to talk about is Mordekaiser. Music plays Mordekaiser. He also plays an
Sure,
Atlas.
sure.
So there's a couple of different options where, depending upon which direction they want to go in, and if they want to give Music the ability to split push and potentially bully his lane, as Sivir is grabbed from Tail Up Sivir, another very strong champion, especially with Caitlyn off the map. Music has some serious options where he could really bully Rick out of the lane solo, which is not where Inting Toasters Inc. want to be.
Not at all, but I mean, when you have that push, you also have to watch out for those ganks, right? Because pushing up the lane is going to leave you vulnerable. Caridian, is he going to spend time top to take advantage of that? Oh, Vayne lock in round one? No, switches to Lucian. Or a very strong presence ADC that can do a lot throughout the lane phase, but doesn't scale quite as hard as Sivir does as we get to those 3, 4 item breakpoints.
Another interesting note is that is a takeaway from I'll Take Mid. If you recall, the first game that they played with Caridian, I'll Take Mid actually ran the Lucian mid. So not just a strong laner and a strong presence playmaking for Team Lemonade, but also a takeaway as the Lulu is grabbed.
I
So
really
we are going
like
to
that.
have Poke City in the bot lane, a lot of burst potential and some great survivability to set up Speedy in some of these mid to late game fights.
Yeah, I don't know if that's. I feel like I've seen them play like Sivir Lulu before. So I mean that's a bit of a takeaway from tactics as well. But maybe it positions him to go on a bit more of an aggressive support. You know, if Lucian dashes in your face for that double shot, punish him so hard, while the Lulu sits back and isn't able to do it. No, Evelyn locked in for Caridian.
Wow. No joke. That's an Evelyn jungle. That's a Renata support.
Okay.
What? People, we're pulling out all the stops in Super Week. This is a spicy draft so far. So that tells me that they're going to have to run. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rudy. I'm a boomer. Is Evelyn still magic damage? Or is
Evelyn
she AD
is
now?
heavy AP.
Okay, thank you very
damage.
much. So
I would call her
because
an
of
AP
the
assassin.
all right, I do appreciate it, and apologies to you folks at home. I cannot keep up with the 200 years of game design that changes every
Rammus.
3 weeks. Let's go,
Okay.
Rammus. This is going to
Okay.
be wild. So we've got
So-
Evelyn jungle, Rammus jungle, heavy AP jungler with the Sivir AD as the second round of bans are rolling. Man, what are they going to prioritize off of this?
So a bit of just TCL history for you. Back I think it was like season 2 or so. If any jungler in this league is known for Evelyn, could you guess which one it is? Probably not because it's Lemon. Lemon is actually an Evelyn player when he does have to go jungle, so I love seeing it against him. He definitely knows what it does. So maybe he'll be able to make some plays against it. And Rammus, man, I love that champion. I once played jungle myself and picked it in a TCL match and got flamed super hard in the chat and carried. So always excited to see it. Interesting earlier lock-in for the Rammus. I mean, I guess you're picking into two melees at least, but there's a lot that you can pick to kite out the Rammus and punish that pick. So we'll see how I'll Take Mid Squad decides to adapt and redirect their draft into this early jungle show.
Yeah, we saw the Mordekaiser and the Vhagar, great picks, especially with a Sivir. They're very clearly trying to set up a rundown comp with an Evelyn flank. The question is, as you said, what are they going to put into it? Fizz and Silas directed straight at I'll Take Mid. Sandy Snake, known for his control mages, Vhagar being one of them. So he is potentially going to grab, yeah, that guy. Great pickup by him, countering the rundown from the Sivir. I'm curious what I'll Take Mid is going to pick against it because a lot of his assassins are off the table.
Yeah, I mean, like his defaults are Echo and Silas, both of who are banned out this round. So I am very unsure.
Oh yeah, that works.
What he goes to next. I mean, he could go AD. He could go something like Zed if he didn't want to lock in the Victor here. Okay, different style we're going to see out of I'll Take Mid tonight.
Yeah, that makes sense for him. The Azir Victor is such a classic mid lane matchup, and the wave clear, it's almost like with the Azir, you kind of have to match the wave clear as the Sion is hovered. So slightly AP heavy. Sion does deal some solid AD. So a lot of pressure onto Tail Whip to get ahead, get his items, and make sure that Team Lemonade doesn't just stack magic resist as he locks in
as you were just saying,
who also deals
good balance,
a lot of magic damage. I was actually hoping for the Sion. Sion, I feel like Sion kind of works better with this comp, with the Sivir.
It would have given them a more consistent form of engage, I think, than the Cho'Gath, because I mean, Cho'Gath, you just have to like run at them and rely on hitting the knockup, whereas Sion can ult in, right, and just be in the thick of things right away. So I don't love that. They obviously have a good amount of pick potential just with Evelyn being on the board, but maybe they didn't like the Sion into the Rammus. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, potentially, there's a lot of different ways that you could, and we're not in comms. We don't know what they're talking about. It could also be a comfort situation, but the Trundle being last grabbed by Music, love that pick against the Cho'Gath. Early bully, able to snowball. He can split push, and this Rammus, the Rammus Azir Lucian Lulu. It looks like Team Lemonade is setting up for a gorgeous 4-1 split push comp, trusting Music to get ahead in the 1v1. And by contrast, great long range engage, great disengage from the Azir. So a lot of different options. I'm going to give the edge to Lemonade in this draft.
I'll agree, just because, as I said, I don't like the look of the lack of engage from the Inting Toasters over there. It seems a lot harder for them to start the fights that they want to beyond Lemonade just running at them, you know? The more I think about this Rammus pick, the more I think it just is such a good preemptive, not necessarily counter, but makes life difficult for a lot of mid-champion pool that was left out with some of those other ones banned. Because as we talk about all those different melee assassins that he enjoys, Rammus loves it when you dive on him or dive on somebody else, and he just pulls you right off with that taunt and that knockup, right? So showing it a bit early, as we were talking about, is interesting because it definitely can be countered. But I think it ends up being absolutely fine in this draft, and did give that pressure to mid and really put some of that weight on the champion pool and make him pull out something different, like the Victor that we do see him going into right now.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Inting Toasters Inc. really adapted as much as you said to the Rammus pick. Also, side note, if anybody would like to chime in, we got 2 minutes left. Feel free to jump into Law 1. We'll pull you up. But I agree with you. I think the big X factor here is going to be Caridian. So if, let's say, speculating, Lemonade gets ahead, they get rolling, the Trundle gets moving, he's split pushing, a fed Evelyn can absolutely punish a split push solo if needed. Now, obviously, it's a Trundle, so that guy's hard to pop. But there's a lot of really cool opportunities for the Evelyn with the invisibility and the cloaking to make plays happen, especially in that bot lane. However, once again, the Lulu, great counter pick to the Evelynn burst. So if Lucian, they get jump on Lucian, jump on Azir, Lulu can instantly heal them up. Rammus taunts Evelynn. That Evelynn's just going to explode. So there's a lot of interesting counterplay there, and I think it's really going to come down to Tony's early ganks. If Tony can get moving and really get the snowball rolling, his team has the scaling. Azir scales really, really well. Lucian scales pretty darn well. Trundle scales pretty darn well. And however, if he gets behind, that's going to be a rut row because Rammus, he's got the taunt and he's okay. But if he doesn't really get moving and get the snowball going, he can have a lot of problems in the jungle.
Yeah, it's neither of them is renowned for their early ganking ability, right? It's like we have an Elise out here. Evelynn obviously wants to get to 6 so she can get that shroud up and be able to be a lot sneakier on her ganks. Not that she can't walk in lane and punish somebody for pushing up too far, but both of these teams tend to do a pretty decent job warding out their lanes when they're doing stuff aggressively like that. Rammus can roll it in, but he definitely wants a few levels in his Q, so he's able to really get in there speedy-like, run at you in a straight line, but run or roll really, really quick. So I'm expecting it to be, if there's any fireworks, it's going to be in the 2v2 bot lane. But with the supports that we have, both of those supports are fine to sit right behind their AD carries, buff them up, and just let them auto minions all day.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. As we tick down to the last 20 seconds, I think the last thing that I'm going to look at, which we don't see right now, is summoner spells. I want to see if any of the carries are going to take cleanse. Now, Sivir has the spell shield, which is going to offset the taunt, but I'm curious if Victor is actually going to grab the. If Victor is also. None of the carries took cleanse. Thank you, Mr. Producer. Neither carry took cleanse, opting for the teleport. So that could be great if the Victor plays very safe. That could also be very problematic because they have a Rammus.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
interesting take on that.
the thing about the Sivir spell shield when you're playing Rammus is it's not really that big of a deal, right? Because you have 2 forms of CC as you come in. If you don't hit, if they spell shield the knock up with the Q, then you just taunt right after it, right? So it's still a fine engage. Does have the ghost there instead of the flash, so there's not going to be any flash knockups or flash taunts early. Going from the more mid-game pick, able to roll around and influence all those lanes real quick and in a hurry. But yeah, gonna be, and both of the supports also took Guardian. Love that. Just playing to stay safe in the lane. Not necessarily worried about getting the buff or the poke down. Just going to give them that shield when they need it. And we are into game.
We are. And Rudy, with getting into game come the predictions. Who do you think is going to take this game 1?
Yeah, no, I love the Evelynn pick, but when I see a Rammus, I got to cheer for a Rammus. I think that champ doesn't get enough love, not because it's better than people think, but just because I love it so much and I like to see other people play it too.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that the Team Lemonade in general, I think they really won the draft. I think the Trundle into the Cho'Gath is a great matchup for music. I think the Rammus is going to be able to get the snowball rolling very quickly. I love the Lulu survivability, the Azir disengage. It's really going to come down to whether Caridian can just get absolutely out of control and allow the Victor and the Sivir to scale. But even if they do, there's still a lot of options on the Lemonade side. They have a lot of different ways to win. So I'm definitely going to take it as we see. 5 point across the board.
You talk about Caridian going out of control. One thing about Caridian, the guy is gonna gank. He is gonna go aggressively. Sometimes it works for him, sometimes it doesn't. But results-based analysis will tell you that it works for him a lot more than it doesn't, as he is currently 2-0 with his team, right? So if, as you said, he gets fed on that Evelynn, he can make life very hard for Speedy and Sandy as we go into this mid game.
Yes, we do. Both junglers starting on the bot side, so it's going to be a bot to top clear. Curious if they're going to put that pressure in the mid lane or go to top. If I'm Tony, I would love to get that Trundle rolling as we see the assist from both bot laners. But we are underway, game 1 of such a key matchup for playoff implications. I'll take mid. Getting the first initial push, but strong poke coming out. It's such a classic matchup, so I'm really excited to see it. Such a, as you said, such a departure from I'll take mid.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts about early games with Cho'Gath is just looking and seeing how small he is. I think it's so funny. Obviously, that size scales super hard into the game, but man, he starts off as just a little lizard. We'll see how big microscopic Rick can make him.
Yes.
Look at him, he's tiny. He's like the size of a cannon minion.
Yeah, see, he's hopefully going to get a little bigger than microscopic, and we see Music already trying to push him off of that wave, getting a very small CS lead. But we see big time trades coming in the bot lane. Lemon actually getting poked out fairly strongly by Tactical Tactics on that Renata. I don't think we've actually seen a Renata pick since, I believe, didn't Lemon play it at some point? I recall seeing it in the past.
There have definitely been Renatas. I don't think it's like necessarily played as much as it is in, say, Pro Play or something like that, right? But it's also on the newer edge of Champions. I think it came out right at the end of the season last time. Season, 4 for TCL, whichever one I won in. So yeah, it's not not the perma presence that it normally is, but definitely not the first time we've seen it in TCL.
No, it's not. And looking at in the top lane, speaking of the opposite side of where Renata is, Tynerik has already been pushed hit. He's getting fairly low on mana, and Music not really having to do a whole lot just because of the Trundle power early levels. Really forcing Microscopic Rick to use all of his abilities, burn his mana down, and try to deny as much CS as he can. Rick doing a great job, as he always has, in keeping his farm up despite a more abusive matchup, and getting some solid trades down as we see first Scuttle Control going to Tony. Tony probably looking for that first gank. In the mid lane, is he actually, no, he's going to go for a first gank into the jungle, getting Caridian incredibly low. Caridian's going to try to go for the Blast Cone. Actually, he's going to get low. Is he going to go down? Flash goes in, counter flash from Sandy Snake. Oh my god, Caridian finally goes down. That's going to be first blood for Sandy Snake as his mana ticks away. So a great start from Team Lemonade, and Tony taking full advantage of this Ramix pick against a low health Caridian.
Yeah, there are not many champions that Rammus can bully out early, not necessarily known for his dueling prowess one-on-one in the jungle. But I guess Evelyn is one of those, does a great little wraparound while Evelyn's just thinking about covering the roll down mid. And yeah, manages to both blow Caridian's flash.
And I'm going to need to see top lane. Yeah, thank you, top lane. That was a quick kill. Tony was not done. Tony decided that he had enough health. He went into Caridian's jungle, killed him, didn't kill him, fed Sandy Snake first blood, came talk, fed Music a kill. He is 100% kill participation. This is what he's done all season, feeding his solo laners kills exactly where they need to be in order to be successful. This is a picture-perfect start for Team Lemonade.
Yeah, absolutely. Rammus happy to get those assists. Definitely not where you want the gold. Put it on your carries and let them do their thing. Fed Rammus, great to see. One thing we haven't talked maybe I'll save that thought for after Caridian doesn't get caught out here.
Maybe not. He gets the bump. He gets taunted. Sandy Snake is there. However, this is a 3v2, but Speedy is right over the wall. He's going to dash over the wall, and it is a total rundown. Caridian is burning down off of that Renata support, but it's not going to be enough. Tony, you need to be careful, dude. He gets away, blows the heal. The team is there. A double kill for the Lucian. Oh, no. So across the board, 100% kill participation for the Rammus, and a perfect start on all of his carries. Look at that kill distribution. You could not program that better.
Not at all. Lucian 2-0 here before 5 minutes. Honestly, heads up play from Sandy, knowing Caridian's going to run straight to that crab. Doesn't get his first back in right away, even with that first gold money. Instead, just sits down there in the pixel brush and waits for the jungler to appear. Rammus, one thing about the guy, the kid's going to rotate. And Tony doing a great job tracking.
Oh, he is, as Sandy Snake dropping a shuffle in the mid lane, forcing the flash out from Victor, but now in the top lane, Music just able to solo Microscopic Rick out. Microscopic Rick grabbing the cull, gonna try to grabbing the tier, trying to stall his way out, going full scaling build, tier plus boots, so he is going to be doing a lot of ability farming and running away. And I'd mentioned there was a fight in the mid lane, forcing the flash out from I'll Take Mid. I bet Tony's going to be heading there shortly, but a 2,000 gold lead at 6 minutes. That is astronomically large as this early in the game.
Yeah, not looking like it's going to get too much better. Music left the lane right in front of his turret and is likely going to just, TP back up. If Rick can't get this shoved in, that's going to be a nasty freeze and make a really long lane for the Rammus to come up there and take advantage of the fact that you can't run as fast as he can.
Yeah, and even if he doesn't get the freeze, he doesn't. Looks like it's going to be able to crash. He grabbed Sheen and Merc Treads. That is, oh, what a perfect first buy. Like, just being able to grab those two items. I'm saying perfect is an ideal for Music. He gets everything that he wants on the first buy. If there were ever any concerns about Microscopic Rick poking him out, pushing him out, blowing him up, those are completely gone with that buy, plus the refillable just to add insult to injury.
Yeah, I mean, all the plays that have happened so far clearly involve the jungler guy sitting at 004, 100% kill participation. But the downside to Rammus, when it comes to these ganks, as we go into the game, because we have a second here, is he's going to run at you in a straight line, and each of the lanes has a way to deal with that, right? You have the gravity field from Victor, you have the knockup from Rick, you have Renata's thing that she shoots out, grabs you, and throws you in a different direction. All of those, if played well, can completely stuff that Rammus gank before he gets 6 and has his actual jump in. So while it is a bit of a really substantial lead for TLA this early, it is by no means over.
But Tony's going to do his best to do it that way. Tactical, getting low, getting taunted. No roll necessary. Will he be able to drop it out? No, he won't. Tail up actually looking for a return kill, getting some good poke down onto Lemonilla. So great play by Tactics just to stay alive. And Tony had used his Rammus roll in order to get in there, but he's gonna go for a tower dive right away. Gets the taunt down onto Tail Whip, gonna take the hits, drop the armor, and Speedy's gonna get out. Tony getting out as well. Oh no, Lemon not so lucky, sacrificing himself. Your sacrifice will not be in vain. Lemon grabbing the assist, and it looks like this is going to be a free first dragon. 14 Lemonade as Caridian rolls up, trying to get a return kill onto Music. Music going in on Microscopic Rick, turns onto Caridian. Caridian does have that double buff. Ultimate has him pop from Music, and Music is just going to roll in, try and get the kill. It will not be enough. Microscopic Rick, great play by him, able to get the nom nom and knock out Music. Well played by Caridian. Make sure to keep his team in this game, grabbing the Herald.
Yeah, I mean, heads up play barely got out of there in time. Had me a little bit nervous that he wasn't going to press that R key. But yeah, I mean, pulls off the successful gank, heals up a bit, and mid is already on the rotation, so they have it set up for this Herald. The bot lane for TLA wasn't in a good enough position, or a healthy enough position, sorry, to take the dragon afterwards. So objective-wise, got a kill back, pulled off the Herald. We'll see if they can do something with it, get a couple plays from their laners and try to crack this game open. But yeah, that's exactly what they needed to get some tempo back in this matchup.
Oh, Tony almost getting the top. That was so close.
Way to stick it.
Oh, yeah, very close. But as you mentioned, kill return back to Microscopic Rick, as well as pretty solid, a little bit of a farm lead in the jungle, as well as a very small farm lead in the on the AD side. Now, however, looking in the mid lane, Sandy Snake starting to pull ahead with that kill and 2 assists. Starting to really kind of repeat shove Victor under turret. So making sure, Instinct Horses Inc., making sure that they stay in this game. Still about a little bit less than a 2,000 gold lead, but they do have the scaling powers of the Victor and the Sivir, and 1 or 2 good mid-game team fights. They're back in this game.
Absolutely. This game is nowhere close to over, and I don't know many players in this league who, after starting 0-2-0, would then go and buy a Dark Seal, but that's Caridian, right? We said he was aggressive. He's going to play aggressive. The man went ahead, got the Dark Steel, has his first stack with that assist, and is ready to do what you said, get super fed and make life hell for these carries.
Yeah, he is. He grabbed the Sorcerer Shoes as well, making sure that he gets the movement speed. And he is setting up for a lane gank. He's going to have to be careful not to walk over that ward. But
he's
it looks like
it's okay.
Yeah, it looks like it's just, yeah, that's true. He is invisible. Isn't that great? What a life to be Evelyn. But it looks like we're going to have a back from Lucian. Lemon staying. It looks like he's kind of, he can't quite decide whether or not he's going to stay or go. Tony, meanwhile, in the top lane, looks like he's going to be trying to push a bit of a tent to get this Trundle snowballing. So that seems to absolutely be the win con. We were originally guessing this was going to be a weak side top, but with the Trundle grab, absolutely big opportunity. However, because he spent a little bit too much time top lane, Caridian just sneaks out that dragon and cuts the gold lead down to a little bit more than 1,000.
I mean, that Drake take was made possible by Microscopic Rick's ward over the wall there. Spotted out Tony, gave them the information they needed to successfully rotate Vada, scare that away, and that's the first 2 objectives over to the side of Inting Toasters Incorporated.
That is absolutely true. Actually, oh, I thought they had a tower. No, you're right. Yeah, first dragon, first herald. Herald is still in Caridian's inventory, so curious where he's going to be dropping that. He is pathing towards the top side, so he's got a couple of different options. That Sandy Snake is probably looking mighty tasty right now, but you never know with music pushing Microscopic Rick in. They had some success in the top lane. Maybe they're going to look for it to continue just to make sure music just doesn't get out of control. Little risk reward, but it looks like Caridian's going to go for the mid pick. He's just kind of hovering around, but Sandy definitely sees him. Knocks Caridian actually under the wall, but Sandy Snake having to flash out. Tony is there. Counter flash out from Caridian. Taunt goes down, though. Caridian incredibly low. He needs to get away from this Rammus. He's not going to be able to do that. Tony able to secure the kill onto Caridian, and meanwhile at the bot lane, coming up into the bot side, Jungle Tactical. Tactic's going to take a full barrage from Lucian. Ulti blown, but only Caridian goes down, all told.
I mean, Caridian played that pretty well. They're waiting to give mid a chance to walk up. Great flash away from the Rammus ult, but Rammus is a sticky champion. Looked like he popped Ghost there and was able to just run and beat him down. That does make the Herald timing a little bit suspicious, as he's down to like a sixth of the timer there. So he's got whatever lane he runs to right now is where the Herald's going to drop, and they need to be able to push and make sure it gets that charge off so they get some value out of that objective beyond just the global gold.
Yeah, I'm actually going to double check the timer on that. Yeah, it's actually about to expire. He needs to drop it like right now. Drop it. Caridian, drop it. Please, please, please drop it. Oh, no. Oh, no. He lost as he's going in for the lane game. He must have just tunneled on the kill. Lemon going low, but the Herald expired. They weren't able to drop it.
Yeah, I needed to hit it there, and he's about to face check Tony.
Oh, no, he absolutely face checked Tony. Flash in from Speedy Bandito. Such an aggressive play. Tony's going to hit the Rammus. Rammus doesn't really care. He's got armor. Great disengage from Tactical Tactics. Lemon going incredibly low. Tail up, rolling up. Going to get the blade down. Lemon has to ulti himself, actually. And so a chaotic back-and-forth fight in the bot lane. And Caridian, however, finding himself once again in the death chamber. Long-range taunt. Upwards bounce, forces to flash out from Tactics, but I think Speedy and Lemon are a little bit too low. They're going to do something about that. But yeah, Caridian 0-4-1. Unfortunately, not able to drop the Herald. Not a great start for him. And Tony continues to just be absolutely everywhere as we see music in the top lane. Trying to invade a little bit, getting pushed out by a combination of Tiny Rick and I'll take mid, but he's just gonna be able to walk away as we see more pain and suffering in the bot lane. Double kill from Azir, triple kill for triple kill for Sandy Snake, double kill for Tail Whip. What is going on in this game? We're talking about a picture perfect start for the for Team Lemonade, but now they're actually they're still up. Just weird, chaotic follow-up after a pretty clean start for them. 15 minutes in.
They are up, but that gold lead has definitely shrunk from where it was. I'm just going to keep looking at the Dark Harvest deck, because I think it's hilarious. Or, sorry, Dark Harvest. I meant Dark Seal. Sorry. Back to 0 after that death. 0-4-1 on Caridian, but as we've said, the guy's not going to stop going in. He is making opportunities for his team. Sivir may have 3 deaths, but they also have 4 kills. And Telep is a carry who knows what to do with that money, is able to position so well through those team fights, and he's set up to carry them if he's able to stay safe from this Rammus, who seems to have been everywhere on the map so far.
Yeah, he really is. That Azir, however, is getting really scary. The Azir-Lucian combo in particular, they are getting moving. If we could take a look at gold real quick while we maybe have a moment to catch our breath. I just want to see how far ahead these carries are. Yeah, about 1,000 gold in the mid lane. And ironically, Lucian's actually down because of that double kill from the Sivir, doing a great job keeping up in farm. So well played by Tail Whip to make sure that he is staying in this game. I'll take mid, also doing a great job. So not a huge gold lead, but the main gold advantage definitely coming out of the mid lane. And that triple kill is going to really help Sandy work in as second dragon is about to spawn. I think we're going to see a team fight here.
I sure hope so. A lot of gold and a lot of carries pockets, which is the right recipe to make these team fights explosive. Red side, Team Lemonade has the positioning on the pit right now. Are any teleports to watch out for? Nope. So at most, with those two battling up in the top lane, it's going to be a 4v4. But looks like Caridian's going to walk away from this one and say, you know what, we took the first one. No pressure of like early soul, anything like that. If they want this one so badly, we'll let them have it, and I'll go get the Herald.
Yeah, they will. Caridian making sure that he gets topside scuttle control, and in the top lane, Rick actually starting to get a little beefy. He's got the Frostfire Gauntlet, so got his first Mythic. He actually finished his Mythic before Music did, which is interesting considering they're actually like, Rick is ahead by a very slight amount in gold, so that what was supposed to be a bit of a snowbally lane advantage, not quite paying off, but on the side of Instinct Toasters Inc., they're going to secure this Herald, and Caridian definitely going to make sure he drops it this time.
I sure hope so. I mean, it's not bad to take anyway, right? Get her off the map. Ooh,
no, it isn't, but Sandy Snake is rolling in. Caridian doing his best to do a disappearing act, but you cannot run away from a Rammus as easily. Microchopper Greg trying to tank as many people as he can. I'll take mid, trying to drop as much damage as he can, but the fight is split right now. All members of Instinct Toasters Inc. are fairly rogue. Caridian down again. I'll take mid, got the damage. Is he going to be able to turn this fight around? Sandy Snake diving in, goes to the flash, gets I'll take mid over the wall, blows his flash. Oh my goodness, Sandy Snake, have yourself a day.
What a shuffle by him. Great job knocking him over the wall right into the Rammus and the Trundle, making plays left and right. In 7 of his team's 11 kills, still 100% kill participation on the Rammus, I'd like to say. Man, I love that pick so much. But yeah, Sandy, very, very fed right now.
Yeah, the fact that he was able to get the push over the wall and force I'll take mid to flash, you could maybe argue that it was a bit of an unforced error, but in that moment, maybe I'll take mid thought he could get away, so you never know. Great play across the board. As you mentioned, Tony, honestly, it's already game 1, but Tony is really trying to set him up for the MVP conversation, assuming that they are able to pull this one out. Instinct Toasters Inc. falling, still within spitting distance, 600 gold at 18 minutes. So the massive gold lead from Team Lemonade has absolutely shrunk to almost nothing. But man, with that big Azir and the we got a Chem take Rammus. Yeehaw, this is going to be a fun one.
And there's the first. Is that first turret? No, sorry, bot lane turret was already taken. That's why the gold was still so close. Even with that down, but looks like the Herald. Come on, you got to make sure he gets another charge off here, Rick. Yeah, there you go. Now you can back off.
He's got to make up for making sure that not allowing it to go down. But Microscopic Rick he's really starting to cruise and able to push Music back, so kind of thwarting the potential split push as we see Lemon potentially getting out of position. Yeah, he is out of position, had to flash. Not a good situation for Team Lemonade. Still has the exhaust, still has the ulti, but with the next major objective coming up shortly, I think we're gonna start seeing some sieging coming out of Team Lemonade, especially with this Azir looking to pound down some turrets.
I mean, they sure need to do something about these outer turrets. Currently, all 3 of their outers are down, and you and I know so well how oppressive that can make the map feel, right? Because it just moves the line of combat so far onto your side, and it doesn't feel like you can go anywhere and get any vision down when your minions are always getting pushed in. So they need to get some turrets here. Yes, they did a great job getting the early kills. Tony has been doing a great job around the map, helping his lanes get individual leads, but the objective control from the side of Instinct Toasters has been phenomenal. They have both Heralds, the first Drake, and now all 3 outers, which means they are currently up in gold.
Yeah, they actually took the lead for the first time in this game, despite what looked like a fairly catastrophic start for them. And we mentioned it before, Victor and Sivir scale incredibly well. Cho'Gath does too. Getting a lot of those. Fine. Oh yeah, he's going to be just fine. So we're going to need to see what Team Lemonade is going to do in order to really take advantage of what actually used to be a major itemization lead. I'm looking at Mythics being finished across the board. I think the only person who's really behind right now is Lemon. Actually, not even. I think we are dead even across the board now. So well played by INT to get into things. And I want to see Team Lemonade, as you mentioned, go siege some turrets, maybe set up Baron. They've got some sort of vision in their own jungle. But yeah, like you said, they got to knock down these outer turrets first.
Yeah, and as Spirit called out in the chat, Lucian went second item Maw, definitely itemizing against the triple magic damage threat. I guess quad. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what Renata does most of, not that you're too worried about Renata damage. But yeah, very efficient itemization, not necessarily the damage, the crit that you want on Lucian to make those autos hurt, but it's going to keep you alive to make sure you can at least get those autos off.
Yeah, Renata does. A lot of Renata poke is magic damage, so you are correct Mr. Rudy. And yeah, great pickup by Speedy, making sure that he doesn't get bursted out. The the Hextech rocket belt being finished by Caridian. So I could absolutely see a rocket boosted Evelyn engage into the back line. That plus the survivability of the Lulu, as we had mentioned in the draft, gonna make a lot of these team fights pretty attractive. And if you look at the team fight potential on the side of Team Lemonade, it is explosive. High mobility, high damage, a lot of CC, a lot of survivability. The question is, can they get a split push going, or are they going to choose to group up? Because this Trundle pick has not quite played out the way they would want it, as Microscopic Rick just walks up, gonna try to get a knockup. Rocket Belt rolls in, Caridian trying to make a play happen, but great disengage by the side of Team Lemonade. However, strong Dragon Prio for Inting Toasters Inc. as Tony is trying to make something happen. Stops as he goes, and Sandy Snake go rolling in, trying to poke down Microscopic Rick, but Microscopic Rick is very, very large. 8-stack Cho'Gath, almost 4,000 health. It's going to be pretty difficult to move him out, but despite all that, Team Lemonade able to roll in and get their priority positioning, despite what looked like a pretty solid hold. But that's not going to be the end of it. Oh no, Caridian slightly out of position. Great engage from the Rammus. Microscopic Rick getting pushed out. He's going to get burned down. Lemon is actually the primary target right now, but the boomerang blades are ricocheting and ravaging the side of Team Lemonade. Flash forward from Taylor, flash forward from All Take Mid, flash forward from Tactical Tactics, because we're all flashing forward, so why not? Long range roll, and that is the power of the Sivir. That is a double kill. That is a 3-for-1, and that is a fantastic team fight from INT plus the Dragon.
That looked so good for Lemonade at the beginning there, with Caridian getting caught out trying to get a flank on the Lucian. But what a Renata ult from Tactics. Turned the entire thing around. I think he hit all four with that. And the amount of time that bought for Tailwhip to, as you said, get those boomerang blades in there, bouncing around and shredding everybody down with that Kraken PD damage. Huge team fight win, and with that, they will have, looks like a 1k gold lead right now, but pick up the second Drake and are moving towards Baron. No, never mind. Just going to go catch their waves, reset, and spend the gold that they just earned.
Yeah, and earn it they did. Could I please take a look at the gold differences? I want to point out the AD carry, because those boomerang blade crits were absolutely smashing through that line. About 2,000 gold, and hey, we got another fight going on. Taunt going down on a Tactical Tactics. Tony looks like he's trying to force things a little bit, not where he wants to be. He's able to get out, but now he's incredibly low. He's gonna have to recall, and this could set Inting Toasters Inc. up for pretty much whatever they want at this point.
Yeah, that's the Rammus curse right there. On anything that has like such a quick long range engage, like Rammus's Q is, it's so easy to get very, very far ahead of your team, and you'd be out of position like that. Oh, yeah, was Critting able to smite that away?
He was, he snuck it away. That's a great play by him, taking advantage of the fact that Tony probably wasn't able to be as aggressive on the lower health. And we see knocking on the door is INT on that mid ender. They've got it down to 50% health. And if we look at the outer wave control, look at that great big wave crashing down on bot inner. That's going to set INT up to take control of this Baron pit, and that is exactly what they're doing.
Yep, I mean, we definitely have Unleashed Teleports. Trundle should be down there catching that wave, but no, he's just with the team at the moment, and they go ahead and start up the Baron. They definitely know what's happening. They're going to need to make a choice here as to how they want to engage.
Yeah, they do, but a great play by Caridian, able to bait in two people. That's Smite down, that's a Zir down, that's a lot of gold down for Team Lemonade, and this is very much a, I don't want to say a free Baron, but they'd have to do a lot to give it away as they start burning it down. INT in the driver's seat, 3,000 gold up, and this Baron with the Cho'Gath and the Smite. Oh, actually, Smite is down, so a little bit tricky, but they have to make sure they get the Omnom. Thank you, there's the Omnom. That's going to be a Baron, and INT totally flipped the script on a perfect start from Tony's Team Lemonade.
Yeah, Caridian said, if I can't get the kills myself, I'll just throw my body at them and be the bait. Worked out so well. Picked out the two that have been causing the most trouble, the Azir and the Rammus, and was able to just unlock that Baron. Dragon not spawning for another 2.5 minutes there, which means plenty of time to back, spend that gold again, and set up some sort of siege and continue to knock down these towers. As we talked about earlier, plenty of objectives taken from the side of the Toasters, but Lemonade still has all of their outers standing, which just bounces those waves back so quickly.
And you know what's really interesting, Rudy? We had mentioned before that Spirit had called out the Maw. That Maw might have really bitten him in that dragon fight, because when he had bought the Maw, Tail Whip from Speedy, Tail Whip had grabbed pure damage, and now Tail Whip an item, about half an item up on the Lucian. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Sivir, bit better of a scaler than Lucian, as we see. Yeah, so we see Tony rolling, and he is unstoppable. He's going to get a grab onto Caridian, but Caridian actually didn't really care. He instantly shook off that taunt. That is going to be a dead Rammus, a dead bot lane, and a dead top laner, and they are working their way through a potential ace. That fight was so fast, I blinked and everybody was dead. I think it was like 2 or 3 boomerang blades as you see flash up the wall for Caridian, and Caridian goes back over the wall, and he goes back over the wall again. But I think this time it's going to be to his death. No, I guess not. Sandy Snake doing a little fancy footwork, able to get out, doing his best. Caridian somehow still alive. I think that was 3 back and forths over the wall, all told, getting out sub 100 health. And as you said, he is the global taunt on this INT team. 0-6-5, no problem. Team is 6,000 gold up and looking at a game 1 victory if they can hold on to this lead.
Yeah, again, we have them just dive in with the Azir, the Trundle, the Rammus, and the Renata all doing so much work. Tactics sitting down there 2-1 and 10. So effective when this team just wants to get in your face. They went for the play mid, but Toasters did such a good job responding, and as a result, their base got pretty ravaged by that Baron, knocking down the mid inhib, and setting them up to just take another free Drake, or not necessarily free, but setting them up to get position on this Drake and get to that soul point.
Yeah, Tony, not to be deterred, but he's just now getting kited into oblivion, and he just doesn't have the survivability. The Chem Tank being his only completed item, trying to work his way through, just having a bunch of components now. But as we look at a lot of different items across the board, I saw that Caridian instantly shook off the taunt. So definitely a lot of different options on the side of INT just to deal with that Rammus. As we see Soul Point going to be coming up. That is an Infernal Soul. So that is going to be really, really nasty. Also, shout out to Caridian yelling in all caps, all chat, "I love my team." So he is loving the fact that he is able to just be super duper aggressive. And even if he dies, he knows his team is going to take good care of them. What a great team chemistry to see on the side of INT. 0-2 to start this season, but now knocking on the door of a 1-0 start, and with a win setting them up for a potential number 2 seed in a first round bye. Can't write this stuff, really.
No, this is great stuff. It's still game 1, and it's still anyone's game to win. 1 or 2 good team fights really flips things around for Team Lemon. Caridian having to ult out there. Tony's still looking for those picks, which is good. Sometimes when you're behind, you can start tunneling and just say, okay, all I need to do is survive here, but you have to be able to make those plays, because otherwise it's going to be a slow bleed that leads to the gray screen. With that, I want to call out Microscopic Rick. We talked about how the Trundle pick got counter-picked at the very end there, but done such a good job throughout the entire game. Just sticking with it, playing his lane well, got the kill at the very beginning that set him up to continue to snowball, and now he is a big boy. Look at him up there, big as the turret.
Oh, he's so strong. Yeah, he's been eating his Wheaties. I will say that flash out from Rick might have just been able to walk out, but that's
I was just saying so many good things about him. And then
respect, hey, respect Flash. We'll give respect. Hey, they're ahead and they want to hold on to that lead. As we mentioned, 30 minutes in, the magical 30 minutes in TCL. They are looking at about a 7 at this point, 7,000 gold lead almost. Caridian grabbing that Baron. Baron's going to be up, not quite in a little bit. Let's see about, I don't actually have my timers on. Oh no, Droid, you're pixelating in. That's okay. 1 minute. Thank you very much. Baron's going to be up in 1 minute, so that's probably going to be the next major fight. But that inhibitor being down in the mid lane is going to make it really easy for INT to set up, once again, whatever they want. And by the way, side note, Rudy, those outer towers are still up.
They are. So much of this gold lead is in those objectives, so that means it's still there to be knocked down if they ever do get a fight win, and it's going to be really close and right in their face. But that Sivir is at 4 items, also has picked up the stopwatch for that team fight outplay. Going to be what they have to kill, but also at this point, there's so many other threats that you can't just worry about it. Probably that Sivir has to be how they get out of this and how they win these fights. Tailwhip is going to be doing so much damage with that completed Infinity Edge. It's going to be disgusting.
Yeah, the only problem is engaging into a Victor is a bit, and a Renata is going to be a bit rough for them. You mentioned the Infinity Edge, taking those crits to the absolute next level. Next team fight, I think it's going to be the question is how many autos will it take for Tailwhip to burn through? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be an absolute rout on the side of INT. Tailwhip flashing forward over the wall. He's exhausted. He doesn't even care. 3 to knock out 1. That's going to be a quadra. Was that a penta? I believe that was just a quadra.
Who stole the penta?
Well played. Not quite perfect in the team fight, but averaging 3 to 5 autos regardless of tankiness. And this is going to be game 1 going to the Inting Toasters Inc. despite a beautiful start from the side of Team Lemonade. And I completely agree with you.
Burning their stopwatches.
Sivir is a major problem, and they're going to have to figure out what to do with it.
Oh no, the inhibitor respawned.
Oh, they got trolled!
I'll
no!
take it. TP. They literally burnt their stopwatches to juggle the tower aggro with no minions there. But it's okay. They'll still knock it down, and that makes the series 1-0 to Inting Toasters Incorporated.
Indeed. Well played. The reincorporation of Inting Toasters Inc. really paying dividends, Rudy, as we see incredible play across the board and just absorbing what normally would be a pretty astronomical deficit in the first 6. I believe they were down 3,000 gold in the first 6 minutes, which is just obscene. Wonderful play by Tony, but Inting Toasters Inc. this entire time since Korean has joined the team, they just never give up. Ever. And it has just been paying off with a Sivir that looks like that.
Yeah, I mean, Caridian and Tony both played so aggressively there. The difference is Tony's plays paid off early and Caridian's plays paid off later. Tony trying to make something happen before they could actually get to the Baron Pit just melted through by that Sivir, as is reflected by those damage numbers. 31,500 in 33 minutes. That was Tailwhip's game, and he knew it. Man, they just got to have a bit more focus on those objectives in the next game. Beautiful early game, just didn't knock down any turrets.
Absolutely, and those outer turrets are really telling the tale. And it was almost like they were storming the outer gates, and then INT said, "You shall not pass," and that was the end of it. And they just never did. So they, Inting Toasters Inc., continuing an incredible turnaround as we go into Super Week. As we mentioned, number 2 seed on the line. Inting Toasters Inc. has to win to even be eligible for that number 2 seed. Don't go anywhere, folks. We will be right back to see if they're going to be able to turn a 1-0 into a straight 2-0, or if Team Lemonade will bring it back and we'll see some scrapes. Don't go anywhere. Alrighty, everybody, welcome back. I've been, by the power of math, I've been told that it is day 3 of Super Week. And to continue with numbers, it is game 2 with the INT, the Inting Toasters Inc. taking game 1 after a 3,000 gold deficit at 6 minutes by Tony and Team Lemonade. Tony on a really oppressive Rammus jungle, having perfect kill participation. We honestly thought they were just going to run away with it, but as a couple of folks in chat mentioned, early Maw grab from Lucian and a gorgeous Renata ult out of the side of Tactical Tactics really turned the tables, allowed for Tail Whip to get at least 5 or 6 beautiful boomerang blades out. And from there, I don't think Team Lemonade took another objective.
No, I don't think they did. League of Legends is a fun game, and sometimes it's really easy to focus on the most fun part, which is killing the enemy, but at some point you need to focus on those objectives too. The Rammus started off like 2-1 and 9 or something, had 100% kill participation through his first team's first 11 kills, and they just weren't able to turn that into anything but one dragon that I picked up throughout the entire game. I think that's the only objective they got. Yeah, and then Caridian on the Evelyn playing from behind, but picked up both heralds and was able to help his lanes out just enough to knock down those outers and just turn that into a really, really difficult game for Team Lemonade to play against. They tunneled really hard on the fact that the other team was magic damage heavy, itemized against it, and just didn't have damage to win any of the fights.
Yeah, that's very true. And frankly, we both said, wow, it looked like Team Lemonade won the draft. And after the first 6 minutes, it really did look like they won the draft. They were doing exactly what they wanted to do on the win con. The only thing that we were mentioning in the break is that the Trundle pick top did not do what it was supposed to do. That Trundle was supposed to be a bully. It was supposed to shut down Microscopic Rick's Cho'Gath. And even when we saw the Cho'Gath pick, we were like, uh-oh, that might be a problem, as Caitlyn is the first ban. Seraphine on the side of Team Lemonade looks like some similar bans. We'll have to see what they change. But if they're going to do something similar, they're going to have to make sure that music is able to really get ahead. And big kudos to Microscopic Rick. Microscopic Rip. He was not Microscopic Rip. He was Microscopic Rick. And he was able to get big. He had 8 stacks. He held onto those stacks. And he did what Cho'Gath does. He just became a giant 4,000 HP wall. Bans exactly the same on the side of INT, just in a little bit of a different order, I believe. And Thresh, and I believe if we see, I think it was the Silas was the third ban. I don't know.
It was Echo, I think. Silas and Fizz were second round.
Good call. Yep. So if we go, all right, exactly the same ban. So that tells me that both teams feel like they did what they needed to do in the draft. And, you know, especially with Team Lemonade, I agree. They just had a little bit of sloppy play in the bot side that got, and the game just kind of got away from them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see how they mix things up because there's so many ways they can. What I'm hoping to not see is a salty run back because I think both of those team comps could have used a bit more polishing. Tailwhip starting off with the Sivir, he looked great on it last game. Let's see if he can do it again.
Yeah, I mean, I would be fine with a bit of a salty run back in terms of INT. I thought the Evelyn was really fun to watch. I don't know if he necessarily did what he needed to do early, especially with that first blood. But credit to Caridian, I will continue to give him credit. He does not give up ever. And that has got to be a huge bulwark for his team as we see the Vayne flex being grabbed for Speedy Bandito. The Pyke is being hovered.
Lemon's not playing Pyke.
Last time. Yeah, I don't
No, it was the other side. It was Caridian who was hovering Pyke last game, but I would be shocked to see Lemon on Pyke. I would also
Okay, well,
takes away the Renata.
Shocked, but I believe Lemon was the last player in TCL to play. Chat can check me on it, but I believe Lemon's the last player to play Renata in TCL before Tactics. Morgana being hovered. That is going to be really, really interesting. Morgana, classic amateur support play just because of her binding. You know, you never know. We are not pros, as we mentioned, but Morgana.
They just switch supports.
Yeah, just grabbing Lulu. Great speed boost, great poke, great survivability, and looks like they're going to be carrying through Tail Whip again. Worked once and worked well in game 1.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the Vayne pickup too. As we talked about, picking mid now so he doesn't get double banned again in B2 here. I really like the Vayne because the Lucian obviously just wasn't able to scale, right? I mean, he was 3-0 at one point, didn't put out the damage, ended up with about the same amount of damage as the rest of his team. But Vayne, if you stay safe, you pick up a kill here or there, you get your farm, gonna be doing a lot of damage through the late game. Gonna maybe even keep up with the Sivir. Sivir probably has better team fighting because of the bouncing blades, but Vayne gonna melt those tanks a lot easier. And Sandy grabbing the victor away once that into the Silas.
Yeah, it's interesting. The Silas getting through, that's a really, really scary pick on I'll Take Mid. And interestingly, with Lemon showing the Renata, I wonder if I'll Take Mid's licking his chops because he gets to seal that ulti away.
Okay, chat, your chance to show off how much smarter than the casters you are. How does Silas interact with Vayne ult? In that if he steals it, does he just get like a brief moment of invisibility, or does he get like the full duration of the hunt? Okay. So again, Droid, our beautiful producer, has told me that he gets invisibility using Q. So that could be a lot of fun too. Banning away the Mordekaiser, not going to let Music get on a pick that he has known to bully people in the top lane with. Be fun to see another two top lane bans and make both of them go pretty deep here.
Yeah, it's interesting that they banned away the Cho'Gath. I think Rick definitely was able to do what he did, but part of me feels like that was more the jungle influence. It's the Scion. Yeah, they're going to make him go deep. Let's see if they're going to ban Music. I would say a Sejuani ban would probably be, if they're really targeting Music's top pool, they would go for the Sejuani, which has been a fallback for him, and he was spectacular on it. Okay, they're going to take away the Trundle. I'm expecting a Sejuani pick from Music at this point.
For Rick. I think it's going to be... I like that. I think it'll be like Sedge Maokai top.
Actually, if they go Sejuani, I think Rick's going to pick Mundo.
Good call. Could be. He loves playing the Mundo, and Mundo can be very, very strong. Just a juggernaut running at your carries.
Well, Mundo also loves playing into tanks, and he can ignore the CC from the Sejuani as well. There's the what's he gonna do? Oh, Viego, let's go. Okay, definitely gonna be a tank top.
You steal our ult, I steal your entire champion. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to be really, really fun. So we've got jungle and top left, and they're going to give Music the counter pick. Couple of options on the table for him. The Malphite being hovered. I'm loving it. If you're going to blow a Vayne up, a Malphite is a great way to do it. All right, Tiny Rick, here we go. Press R, win game. Let's do it. I'm going to guess a Sejuani matchup, and just the jungle left to go for Caridian.
Yeah, I'm curious what they're looking to round this out with. Okay, another get in your face type thing. Oh, please go Elise. Elise is so fun, especially when somebody's aggressive as Caridian.
Go Diana. I think Malphite plus Diana is really nasty. Okay, go for the Elise. So we're gonna see the Viego Elise, the Jace being hovered. I mean, did get buffed a little bit. The Aatrox being hovered. Shout out Music. All right, I'm going to call the Sejuani. I don't think he's going to pick any of these champions.
Yeah, you don't think he's going to carry, just going to fall back to a tank? I think his team needs it to get a traditional... Yeah, okay, Jaws, you're a genius. You said it 5 minutes ago.
No, I've just played against Music a lot, and I watch a lot of his watch a lot of his lanes. And when he's backed into a corner and his team needs some beef and some engage, he's going to grab the Sejuani, especially because he forced Rick to not blind the Mundo. So grabbing the Malphite, that's a much more comfortable matchup for him on the Sejuani. Wow. Great draft across the board. A lot of spicy stuff going on. The only thing I could really look at is that the Elise may be at risk. I honestly would have liked to have seen the Diana.
I'm fine with the Elise, especially if they can pull off some early dives. Diving pre-level 6 is always difficult in leagues that aren't quite as coordinated as pro play, but Elise has a great toggle. We'll see if they're able to make any plays happen and really use the pressure that jungler can bring. Again, critting on just a super AP focused champion. A bit more consistency than Evelyn though, because you don't have to set up the charm and then hit something. But should be a lot of fun to watch. And I'll take mid on one of his, like, what has become a signature champion for him, Silas. In terms of ults to steal away, I mean, it's got a Sejuani, Victor, Renata, a lot of big team fight AoE things that he can use to just pick people out or blow people up.
Yeah, this is... I gotta give the edge, by the way. As always, if you would like to give us your take on this draft, feel free to jump into LOL1. We'd love to hear what you have to say. See if INT's draft is going to give him the edge to take the 2-0, or if we're going to see a game 3 off of Team Lemonade's draft. Really interesting pick by Tony on the Viego, looking to see if he can snowball ahead. But the Silas pick with the comfort on the Sivir, This is a really, really, really scary comp on the side of INT, especially with the free go button with the Malphite. Love Microscopic Rick on an engager. He's shown that he can be, he's got fantastic engage instincts, and with just a solid tank slap fight, I think it's going to be fun. But yeah, I agree with you, Rudy. I think the Viego, with some of the scaling potential with the Victor and Vayne is really where we're going to see it. But I gotta point out the Sivir Lulu versus the Vayne Renata. I think they're gonna have them completely pushed in under tower repeatedly, and as long as they can absorb the pressure from Viego, they're gonna be in a really good position going into this game too.
Yeah, Renata's really got to step up and help, or Lemon has to step up and help Speedy have some presence here in the lane. Prediction is live in the chat if people want to bet their fake internet points. Go ahead and do that now. Personally, I haven't won a prediction this season, so excited to see if I can pull off my first dub as I bet all of my internet points. And as we talk about that, a bit premature for what we normally do, but whose composition are you like, and who do you think won draft here?
I'm kind of speechless. I'm gonna give it to INT, but just the Elise is the only pick that I'm a little bit on, just because she can really get punished. Like, it's very mobile, good burst, great pick potential, but just really needs to get going. Whereas Viego, man, you give that guy an inch, he will take a mile. He's got such great mobility. He can sneak up on you. There's just a lot going on there. So on the one hand, I really love the carries from I'll Take Mid Tail Up. I love the Malphite pick. I love the Lulu. But on the other side, I really feel like there's an opportunity for Tony to legit carry this game hard and get Victor and Vayne going. So I'm still going to give the edge to INT, though.
Okay. You know what? In terms of composition, I love Team Lemonades, right? I mean, neither comp is necessarily difficult to pilot, but the Sejuani, I guess Sejuani and Malphite function pretty similarly in how they can both like engage team fights from a pretty good distance. Across the board, it's gonna. I like both these comps, but I like Lemon's a little bit better. Sedge is very, very useful. I think it's only the 2 melees for them, but that does mean there should be plenty of setup in the top lane if they want to try and bully out this Malphite.
Yeah, they really could, but I guess the problem with Malphite is he's still Malphite. So even if he
That's
gets
true.
bullied
He's
out,
always useful.
he doesn't do a lot. If Speedy is not on point with his tumbles and his flashes, Malphite will hit him with an ultimate, and the team will dogpile on him. And that's really why I'm giving the edge to INT. I honestly think they've just got the momentum. They're looking really good, and if Tony has a similar early game that he did game 1, I could see things getting out of control, and in a very different way because he's Viego and not Rammus. But on the other side, man, it's just going to take one good Malphite ult to blow Speedy Bandito up, and once the Vayne is popped, their team is just going to be able to do whatever they want.
I think you're right. One thing that I've noticed this season in general, not as many fun invades. We saw a couple like week 1, week 2, but other than that, teams are pretty content to just 5-point, get an early ward down, back, get your sweeper, and play the game out in a boring yet predictable fashion.
Yes, very, very boring and predictable, but hey, it's all about winning League of Legends games.
You're right. That is what's important.
Points, right? You don't get style points for how you win. It's all about whether the Nexus pops at the end. So you could have the ugliest game in the world, but as we saw from the Boomer Bombers a couple weeks back, you can be losing every team fight and just not play PvP. Just play Farmville, play PvE League of Legends. It's totally doable to win. Interesting note, Teleport Ignite on the side of the Sejuani in the top lane, so a bit of a summoner advantage for that. On the other side, Microsoft Rick going for the flash. Makes a lot of sense. Flash ult, bot to top starts for both junglers, so probably going to see some similar fireworks either in the mid or top lanes, as we see a little bit of the slap having to start. Apologies for Droid. I'm not watching your stream, so I don't know what you're seeing.
No worries. We are watching the mid lane where both mids are down about half of their health bars
I was gonna
already.
Say, like, some aggressive trading in the mid lanes already from both sides. I'll take mid, wanting to really push the tempo on that. And that's where I'm expecting Caridian's first gank to go, as we see Microscopic Rick actually getting the worst of the trade. Doran Shield on the side of Music with Biscuits to potentially be able to out-sustain him despite that corrupting potion.
Yeah, I mean, Malphite. I like the corrupting pot start from music because mana can be such a pain when you're trying to just Q farm early. Sedge isn't as impressive as a lot
Oh
of picks
no.
could be.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. Ignite going down in the mid lane. Victor being pushed out, not quite dying, but Viego is hovering. Are we going to see a potential bait in this first game? Rolling in, does get the chain going down, but Victor's Silas just going to be able to get away. So some serious fireworks already in mid lane, and it's very clear. Viego, at least, Tony, is saying, I know where I need to focus my attention. I need to make sure that Silas does not get out of control and this Victor gets going.
Man, Tony could have aimed that just a little bit towards the middle there and made that impossible to dodge with that Viego stun. But anyway, or either way, good job getting his
oh no, Ignite going down, microscopic rig, music gonna get first blood. Great play on Sejuani, showing why that is such a counter pick or a comfort pick for him. Flash, counter flash, I'll take mid, flash down. Can definitely see Tony looking for the return gang. Actually, he's going to stay there, and they're going to push him in. And meanwhile, in the bot lane, big time poke coming down, but a potential counter kill from Caridian on the side of Music, but Music able to get out just on a sliver of health.
I'm not positive, but I feel like Rick could have flashed out there and lived. Instead, he turned around for one more auto and like secured it. Maybe the Ignite was going to take him down anyway, and he knew that. I don't know. He's in the game. I'm not, but First Blood does go down in the top lane. Very aggressive plays from I'll take mid, but Sandy does have the TP, which is going to put him right back in lane. Picks up the early Dark Seal. Let's see how well he's able to match it. And yeah, as you said, Tail Whip and Tactics definitely have the push in this bot lane.
Yeah, they really do. And as we see,
maybe like a pause. Feels like a pause.
Yeah, got a little bit of a spectator thing. So, Mr. Producer, if you let me know what time you are at, I will match you because I believe I'm a little bit ahead and I don't want to spoil any of the action. 4:10. Okay, I'm at 4:26. So you let me know when you hit to 4:26. In the meantime, I'm gonna watch your feed. And we lost Rudy. All right, Rudy's back. Great. All is good in the production booth.
Yeah, we're back. Ready?
Oh, yeah. Alrighty, and we are synced back up. Just a little bit of live production, folks. Nothing to worry about. As we mentioned, First Blood going on the side of Music with a solo kill, and despite that, Tiny Rick, Microsoft Rick, excuse me, got to get the descriptors correct. Able to maintain a little bit of a gold lead, and as I mentioned, even if Malphite gets behind, he is still Malphite. He's still gonna be able to press R. But man, Music is just abusing those stun procs on the Sejuani top, taking full advantage of that summoner advantage. Able to secure the First Blood. Looking down in the bot lane, pokes continuing to come down from Tactical Tactics onto Lemonella. That Sivir Lulu combination is really, really nasty, but well played by Speedy, maintaining farm advantage. I was expecting him to just hard push in, but the opposite right now is true as we see a little bit of ward clearing, and in the mid lane, Sandy Snake perfectly happy to just hang out mid and farm away a slight CS lead. As in the bottom jungle, Caridian able to get Scuttle control. So looking to set up for that first dragon in the mid lane, though. This is where it's going to be. We're going to see our first 2v2. Caridian is there trying to stop Tony. No cocoon has been dropped quite yet. There it goes. Finally gets dropped. Walk out from Tony. And in the top lane, though, Music just really putting our hurt down onto that Malphite, forcing him under turret. Malphite really does have a lot of trouble farming under turret, especially when he gets low on mana, and well played by Music. That Sejuani comfort pick paying off for him in this game 2. Slight gold lead for 6 minutes, not quite the snowball that we saw in game 1, but in the hands of Team Lemonade as a force back. Wow, flash under, attempted kill succeeds, and that is Ignite. Ulti blown, flash, no flash, no problem. Sejuani 2-0 solo killing the microscopic Rick's Malphite.
No, I was just about to compliment Rick as well, and I still will because he's been doing a good job keeping up in farm despite all of the Sejuani poke that's been forcing him out of lane. But with that second solo kill, Sejuani back sitting on the Balmy Cinder, stacking up the tier already. In a really good spot, and I don't see this 1v1 going any better for Music going any better for Rick in the near future.
Yeah, this is exactly what they were hoping for probably in game one, is getting one or two solo kills and snowballing ahead. Ironic that it's happening on the Sejuani instead of the traditionally expected lane bully, really showing how king Comfort is. About 1,000 gold lead, 7 minutes in. Team Lemonade getting the ball rolling. Let's see if they can keep up the momentum as First Dragon is live and
Yeah.
Herald is about to spawn as well.
Curious to see where the junglers choose to do it, because, I mean, Caridian, almost level 6 already, hasn't made anything too flashy happy, more reactive in the mid lane as he sees Tony show up there. But yeah, I mean, Music just continuing to bully poor Rick up here. Microscopic, he has shrunk down and is not making quite, not keeping up quite as well as he did last time. Looks like we do have pings on, and Dragon started up for the side of Lemonade. They have the bot lane rotating over. Meanwhile, the other bot was on a rotation, got their first back off. It'll be a little bit off, which means Caleb's going to be able to get up even more farm, but with the early objective, I call that a fair trade.
Yeah, that's a great trade. And by the way, Rudy, I must say, where the junglers decide to do it is their business and not ours. 8 minutes in, 1,000 gold lead on the side of Team Lemonade. Caridian opting to kind of stay in his own jungle. He had a massive farm lead, actually, around this point in time. So while Tony was farming champions, Caridian was farming camps and getting farmed himself. So a bit of a different matchup now, and the Viego really applying the pressure, but no kills quite yet. The only kills right now on the side of Music, and I believe, if I'm going to look at the gold correctly, yes, Music is a majority of that 1,000 gold lead. So great grab and great play by him so far, giving his team exactly what they need. Meanwhile, attempted gank, lane gank in the bottom side, not quite going to happen in the mid lane.
Interesting ward.
Big swings on the side of Silas, but just cannot break through Sandy Snake.
Yeah, not quite yet.
Oh no. Oh no, he's actually going to be the one that gets broken, gets the return kill. Well played by him. Flash in from Tony. Is Caridian actually going to be able to turn this around? Turns into the Silas. That is going to be an immediate ejector seat from Caridian. He is going to walk away, attempt to re-engage, gets the damage out. Gonna wait to see if he can do anything else. But in the top side, Rick looking to potentially do what Music has been doing to him pre-6. Ulti was blown, but Music's going to be able to get away safe. About a little bit more, less than 20 CS lead, but the boomerang blades from Tail Whip in the bot lane. That is the Sivir Lulu combo that we have been expecting. Able to grab the Noon Quiver, getting that attack speed and that AD rolling, and they are just going to push Speedy out of lane. Teleport coming in back from the top, and let's see if Music is able to continue his push with the Malphite out ult down.
Yeah, I mean, so much action in all three lanes there all at once. I guess they're not considering the casters when they decide to go in. How rude of them. But anyway, it looks like Rick was able to ult the Sejuani under the turret there, which is how he managed to get a favorable trade, even being as far behind as he was. Sandy went down. Tony got the return kill. I mean, that's pretty good for mid. He took the Ignite. You want to make sure you have that lane pressure. But all things considered, Sandy's sitting pretty with his 10 farm lead right now and going to just keep scaling up on the Victor. Tail Whip just abusing the Sivir pick in the bot lane right now into the rather weak laning presence that the Vayne Renata is showing. Gonna be, it seems like, again, just a lot of eggs are in Tail Whip's basket. He needs to be able to continue this lead and be that huge damage threat that he was last time.
Yeah, and
Diego's sitting in a top lane brush right now. Maybe, no, there's nothing happening there. Malphite's backing. Sorry.
No, and also I did want to make a note that Sejuani does have complete slow ignoring, so any Malphite pokes is just going to be damage, assuming that he times it correctly. So that's a fun little interaction on the Sejuani pick against the Malphite. And as you mentioned, CS lead on the Sivir against the Vayne. By contrast, CS lead for the Victor, doing a great job dealing with what could potentially be a really abusive Silas. As we may not have mentioned, just Silas really kind of turning on at that 2-item mark, doing a great job getting the kill despite being ganked by Tony and having a lot of attention thrown his way. So while yes, Victor absolutely has, Sandy has a CS lead right now, it's as is with Silas and as is with a lot of these picks, it just takes one good situation for him as he grabs the Renata ult. That's the ult that I was hoping he was going to grab. We're going to see a really interesting dragon fight as this dragon is about to spawn in a minute. I'll take me. It immediately jumps onto Sandy, gets stunned out. Big damage going down onto the Victor, and I'll take mid just going to walk away, actually baiting out the ultimate from Sandy Snake. Flash is now down. Tony actually finding Caridian in the bot side jungle, and he's just going to pop him. I'll take mid, gets the charm down on Sandy Snake, gets a solo kill. So 2 solo kills from the jungle mid combination. On the opposite side, and Tony, now he's going to do his best spider impression. He is going to convert the 2-for-1. So in that mid-jungle matchup, Tony and Sandy Snake coming out on top, just barely. And Tony's really carrying the day.
Yeah, I mean, last game we talked about how we want Rammus to give all those kills over to his laners. Right now, Viego is more than happy to gobble them all up himself. If he keeps this roll going and is able to snowball these kills into turrets and objectives, because, I mean, as we saw last time, he had a great early game. Tony's not a stranger to that. Needs to be able to convert them into tangible leads for his team. Looks like Music is like, nah, we're taking some turrets this game. Not happening again. Almost has that one knocked down. What is it, 13 minutes into the game? Yeah. A couple more waves, and that thing is gonna fall because Caridian hasn't poked his head top once.
No, they are playing full weak side top, and that is just playing right into Music's favor, unfortunately for Rick. As you mentioned, first turret's just going to go down, and at this point, Music may just be able to take full advantage. Caridian getting caught out of position. He is getting low, and he is completely poked out, so it looks like this is going to be a fairly easy dragon on the side of Team Lemonade with the jungler extremely low. Yeah, he's just going to go kind of work his way around and try to get an angle, but I don't really see them doing anything on this one. There it is. Second dragon for Team Lemonade, and it looks like they are not looking to make the same mistakes that they made in the first one. Great ultimate in the top side from Microscopic Rick. He's actually going to be looking the shutdown. No. Oh, man. Microscopic Rick, never say die. I love it. I am here for it.
Oh, my God.
He's just so much fun to watch.
Oh, one more auto. I think he's probably still die that you get run down, but he could. Actually, I don't know. He would have saved 2 turret shots if he just autoed the turret one more time up there in the top lane. Thing is so low. It's still probably going to drop as soon as Music gets back in lane and shoves one more wave. But yeah, I mean, good return kill by Microscopic Rick, making something out of nothing there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just wanted to get a quick producer note that Bomby Cinder or Frostfire does not proc turret aggro. Just wanted to confirm that.
Bomby Cinder definitely would.
It does. Okay, so in that situation, he was gonna. Though. So in that situation, he was basically gonna. Well, Frostfire still has the immolate. I was just curious to see if he was gonna proc. If you were gonna proc the aggro no matter what, and you just went for the all in. In that case, like I might have just wanted to get the big wave, but. No, I don't think so either. I think he passed it. Sorry, I'm having a conversation with no one. It's actually Droid in my ear. Shout out to Droid once again on production and dropping all the knowledge facts for my boomer ass. So thank you all so much.
Yeah, I think he overestimated the amount of damage that that Demolish proc would do, but more action in the mid lane? Question. Tony gonna walk into Caridian here?
Yeah. It's just going to be a little dance, a little up tap, a little stun, a little cocoon, and Music is going to drop a ward. I believe he dropped a ward onto that. Oh, no, it didn't drop a ward onto the Herald. Rick, meanwhile, though, walking down. His ultimate is not quite up yet. Sandy Snake, however, taking 3 people. The bot lane is mid, and it is a party. I'll take mid, grabbing, I believe, another kill. Actually, no, I believe that was Tail Whip. Nicely done on Tail Whip. So now we got a Sivir with a kill, 20 CS up, got the Kraken Slayer. INT has, their comp has really turned on.
There it is. There's the turret.
Yep. He did it.
2 minutes later than it could have been, but definitely does get the knockdown, able to make something happen there. Music bullying, as you said, weak side king, but Tony, again, looking mid for mid.
Yes, he is, and I will say it was not just 2 minutes, it was 2 minutes a kill, which was a shutdown later. So Caridian being able to grab, nicely done, grabbing that Herald, so making sure that they continue to maintain the objective lead despite the 2,000 gold lead, 16 minutes, and they're just going to need to get out of there. They absolutely know their position right now, and despite the 0-3-2 Victor finished his Ludens. We're seeing Mythics being finished across the board. Blade of the Ruined King on the side of that 3-0 Viego, sitting on that 300 gold bounty. Trying to see when objective bounties are
2 minutes.
Start.
Oh, bounties?
Yep. Bounty, yeah. Just because at this point, not quite super behind, but this first team fight, if INT is going to contest an objective, it's going to be rough sledding for them.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about how Lemonade only had the one dragon to their name last time in terms of objectives. Now they have two and the first turret, doing a much, much better job. Herald was picked up there by Caridian. I'm sure he won't repeat the mistake that happened with the first Herald last game. Needs to make a play in the lane, drop that. Plates are no longer a factor as we are post 14 minutes, but it can still be used to crack that lane and get your waves pushing in. Minions make great wards.
Very true, and I will say I literally just contradicted myself. The tail whip I'll take mid combo actually does have some serious team fight potential, so it could go either way. However, you can't count out a fed Viego just being able to just
do whatever
reset his way. Yeah, pretty much do whatever he wants, reset his way, take whatever champion he wants. It's just, I don't know, but what I do know is that this dragon is absolutely going to be contested by both sides. Teleport is up for Microscopic Rick, pushing his way to this top turret. Both teams are hovering around and taking a look at the Sylas. Sylas currently has Renata. I'm just going to confirm he still has Renata ult. He does not have
I'm not sure if he has one right now. His ult looks to be on cooldown.
He does not have an ult. He had Renata ult last I checked, which would have been really great for this dragon fight. Let's see if he's going to be able to grab it again or who he is going to get. Red team turret goes down in the top side. Great play by Rick, just continuing to push with that teleport. On the other side, Music is just hovering around in this death brush. They're hoping for someone to walk in. And at this point, they're just like, all right, fine. You don't want to come to us? We're going to come to you. We're going to go straight for an aggressive push. That is all 5 members of Team Lemonade pushing down mid-outer. Microscopic Rick starting to walk down, and Team Lemonade full cryo on this dragon. They take this one at soul point. INT has to fight or take enough objectives to offset that soul point risk.
Yeah, I mean, before the dragon take, they did trade 2 outers for 1 mid, arguably being the most important.
Oh, and Herald's in bot side.
Oh,
Herald's in the bot side. Herald is crashing
outers.
inhibitor.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, good on them to recognize that they didn't have position on the dragon. Just keep pushing and get 3 turrets for them. Back on that, although Rick is taking a beating right now. Probably going to need to... Nope, no.
Oh, yeah, he's going to do exactly that. Stolen Sejuani ult gets the kill. Nicely played. Viego goes down. That is a shutdown. Ooh, that's good. You always love to see that. Only downside is that Malphite getting the shutdown bonus and not the Sylas. But hey, a shutdown is a shutdown. We will take that. And I will also say, with it being a Cloud Soul, not quite sure if it was worth giving up what they gave up on the side of Team Lemonade for setting up that soul point. Bottom inhibitor exposed, multiple outer turrets down, and bot lane in its entirety completely ravaged.
Damage beyond control. The wave is pushing away from him right now, which means that somebody's going to have to walk up pretty far to keep that push and try to get it to crash. Good news is, though, they obviously do have the outers in mid and top, so it's not like they're down all the turrets that they were last game. Very, very competitive game right now. You look at the gold, it's separated by a little over 1,000. So all things considered, this is anybody's game. 3 Drakes, obviously scary. It's going to force a fight. The question is just going to be, whose team is in a better position to win that?
Oh, well, considering I'll take mid just yoinked Renata ult, I would say INT is in a great position for a team fight. Malphite ult is about to come up. Malphite is stunned, so that is going in. Music actually rolling in. Great bait and switch from Caridian. There goes the Renata ult. Going down the counter Renata ult, trying to split the team. Microscopic Rick goes incredibly low. Speedy Bandito gets low as well. Rick taking all of the damage that he possibly can. Caridian going in for the kill, gets the execute onto Lemon, and they are just going to be able to walk up and probably take this mid outer. Cocoon whiffs. I'll take mid, going for the dive, gets locked up, gets the kill, walking away. Great tower tank from Microscopic Rick. Textbook tank play from him. 2-0 in favor of INT. Such a good Malphite play. The man just knows what to do.
Rick really showing value right now. And during that fight, the only thing I could think about was, man, I just want to see like a 5-man Renata ult into another Renata ult, and we just see a full second of teams just autoing each other. That sounds hilarious, and that's something I'd like to see this game.
Yeah, it's like TFT, Rudy. I know you are a very high level TFT. Chance to flex, just giving it to you.
Thank you, thank you. Have to be good at something.
Yes. I don't actually know how good you are at TFT, so you're gonna have to tell me.
I've been peaked at Diamond 175 LP. I was one game away from Masters last season, so
Okay.
I've been decent, working my way back up there. But I'm playing a lot more League lately, you know, trying to get good, as the kids say nowadays.
Yes, considering you're my support, I hope you're playing a lot more League. I know I certainly have. But yes, 2 Renato ults basically feels like a TFT game. However, this is not TFT. This is League of Legends. And in this League of Legends game, INT 3,000 gold up 22 minutes in, and the script, as they say, has flipped a little bit. 5 turrets down, and INT, once again, playing the objective game beautifully. Bot outer still on the side of INT, and meanwhile, on the side of Team Lemonade, they've gotten the 2 turrets, they've gotten the dragon, but it's Cloud Drake, and they're really behind and continue to be behind on the tower game. And it's going to take, all it's going to take is one good siege, one good team fight, or one good Baron take for INT to just crack this game open and take an inhibitor.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Looking at items right now, the bot lane for the side of Team Lemonade haven't participated in any of their team's 5 kills, but they've been doing a fine job, well, an okay job farming. Speedy is pretty far behind because of the perma push that the Sivir had. 60 farm, nothing to shrug at, but does have the, oh my gosh, what's that item even called? The mythic that gives lifesteal. I'm blanking so hard right now.
The Immortal Shield Bow?
Yeah, thank you. Does have the shield boat, does have the rage blade. The Vayne is going to be doing damage in these team fights if he's able to. Just need to really front to back with our comp, I think. You know, like, let Music be the front line, let Tony do the dive, and let Vayne try to shred through all of the threats that are going to be running at his face while Lemon does his best to peel. That's what these fights need to look like, and you need to do all of that while not grouping for the Malphite, because they have a lot of ways to get on your back line.
Oh yeah, you mean grouping just like that? Lemon getting low, Lemon getting popped, Music is tanking as best as he can. I'll take mid, completely whiffs his Sejuani ult, but at this point I don't think it really matters. Music gets Ignite and Pop. That's a double kill for Sivir, and that is exactly what I was saying before. That is the fight they're looking for, and they are going to roll their way to Dragon and probably a whole lot more. Oh no, but a sneaky Baron take.
Oh, and they're back around.
Can I see how fast this is going down? Oh no, they're going to run away from that. Okay, well, I guess the sneaky Baron attempt from the side of Team Lemonade. You gotta give them credit for going for something like that. I'll take mid, walking in, trying to be aggressive. Sandy trying to chase him down. Ulti is popped, but on the side of INT, they are walking their way up to mid inner, and it looks like they're going to be able to take this without a whole lot of incident. I don't think Lemon's going to be able to stop this. Nope. Inner goes down, and the INT demolition crew continues as they rock their way to the bot lane.
Yeah, INT just running some wind sprints there between mid and the Baron pit, as they were like thinking about Baron after the pick off. As we said, don't group for the Malphite. We're like, no, let's get the Drake so they can't get Soul. Oh, they're on Baron. Let's turn around, make sure they can't get that. Okay, back to Dragon we go. Do manage to pick that up, their first Dragon of the game. Keeping that Soul up the board, and honestly, if I'm Team Lemonade, I'm not that mad about that, because at this point in the game, I'm not too confident in my ability to win team fights. So even if we get the Soul, that means in 5 minutes, we need to be in a position to absolutely win Elder, because Elder is such a good win con.
Yeah, it really is. And sorry, Mr. Producer, I need you to say one more the time you're at. We're a little 25:30. I'm at 25:31, so a little behind. All right, I think we should be synced back up. I'm at 26, 37, 38, 39. All right. Anyway, yes, I completely agree. INT really having the win count they want, and frankly, at this point, if they wanted to contest a Baron, considering how strong their team fight is, they could absolutely do that. They've got great vision control. Tactical doing a solid job. We got a pink in the pit. We got another ward in the pit just for good measure, and it looks like they are setting up exactly for that. They've got so many different options. Teleport is up, and Microscopic Rick doing a great job making sure those outer lanes are pushed. His ulti is up as well, and Music content to kind of roll with his team. He has teleport up as well, but he is not matching Rick despite the early laning. As we see a Cocoon being pushed down, and Lemon, oh no, Lemon getting caught again, and that has been the tale of this mid game. As we see, the Shirelius is popped. They're going to try and chase down this Viego. Tony on the wrong side of the jungle. The rest of the team on the hunt. tail whip, and I'll take mid. Looks like I'll take mid is going to roll in and attempt to go for the final push. But while that's happening, Microscopic Rick is knocking on the door. And let's see if the turns have tabled against this tanky pick. He has the Frostfire. He has the Fimbulwinter. He has the Warden's Mail. He has the Plated Steel Caps. He's still getting beat up a bit. But while that's happening, in the Baron, we see an incredibly low Victor flashing from Speedy, gets exhausted, tumbles his way out. Tail Whip is just going to walk up. I'll take mid is there, and that is going to be a rampaging Sivir, a dead Vayne, and a 1-for-0 Tiny Rick. Well done, good soldier. You walked your minions into the bot lane, and he bought exactly so much time as this Baron is being burned down by this 3-item Sivir. I'll take mid is there again off of his hunting trip, and despite a dead Malphite, Microscopic Rick doing his job. There's the Baron, and I see an inhibitor in INT's future.
You know, it's old news now because it happened like 2 minutes ago, because there's just been so much action across the map. But my heart really goes out to Lemon there. Nothing, as a support main, I feel for him when it's like, oh, I'm going to go ward. Oh, their entire team is in the bush. Yeah, that's, I guess, my bad, but also, come on, guys. But no, what an explosive play, just action on action across the entire map. And with that, INT secures themselves around a 7k gold lead as we are 2 minutes away from 30 into the game. Next Drake spawning in 140-ish, and the Baron on the map. Let's see what they can do with it. Maybe set up a bit of a split, like 4-1, just get the minions running with the spot and take a turret top.
Yeah, that
or
would be
just 5-man mid, that's fine too.
I mean, yeah, they could just do that, walk in. They've got the they've got the push. They've got Malphite pushing in as he needs to. He still actually hasn't had to use his teleport yet. Microscopic Rick doing such a great job, as I mentioned, on the side lane management. Music kind of opting to group and not doing as good of a job managing those outer lanes. And Microscopic Rick has actually taken a decent amount of gold for his team, so well played by them. Ooh, almost got it. I'll take mid. Going for the Sejuani ult, and Baron Siege has commenced on the mid turret as Tony in the top lane trying to push Microscopic Rick out. So Microscopic Rick gonna join the team, and we could potentially see ourselves another engage. And as you mentioned before, Lemon not looking as comfortable on the Renata as he has with previous other champions. Lemon known for being more of an enchanter player, usually having a little bit more sustain, a little bit more survivability. 0-3 as compared to the 1-0-6 Tactical Tactics, who quite frankly this whole season has been a fantastic support for Taylor.
No doubt at all. Tactics is playing an amazing series for himself. The Lulu and the Sivir combo is just going to continue to be deadly. Sivir on 3 items already, as we said. Once you pick up that Infinity Edge third, your spike is just huge. Melting waves, all of those blades doing so much damage. And yeah, I completely agree. Rick's been smurfing these mid games, doing a great job out of lane, being where he needs to be. And you know, having the TP is the threat of an ability is sometimes just as important as the ability itself. Cridian soloing the dragon, gonna pick up while his team keeps the push mid. Haven't really taken anything with this Baron, but I guess they got pressure for themselves to be able to go to the dragon. Would have liked to see them do a bit more, but you know, nothing wrong with playing the safe game and making sure you pick up the guaranteed objectives.
No, and the more important thing for Tailip at this point is he is about to Flame Horizon Speedy. So we're gonna have to keep a Flame Horizon watch on that. 30 minutes in, he has 321, and he did it! Hey! Someone take a screenshot. That's pretty cool. 4-0-3, 321 to the 221. 30 minutes in. That is some power farming right there from that Sivir. Almost got his 4th item. I think he's got enough in the bank. Probably has enough in the bank to buy that 4th item. As we see Music getting caught out of position in his own jungle. Lemon has to blow the Renata ult, but the Cocoon goes down onto Music. They're going to try and finish this kill. Oh, a reflexive, defensive Sejuani ult is going to take that engage tool off the map for Team Lemonade. And I would expect INT to just walk into the base knowing that there is no Renata ult and no Sejuani ult on the side of Lemonade.
Yeah, I mean, with all those big triggers down, you're fine to just take the open inhib. Again, this is gold that could have been taken a while ago, but that's okay. Better late than never. Baron probably spawning here in about 2 minutes, so use that pressure, get the push top, see what you can do there. or just look to fight mid.
Yeah, the Renata ult is flying, but they are just going to walk away. Bot lane is pushing in, trying to... Looks like they might just slow play it and wait for those supers, or they're just going to walk up and grab the top inner. Microscopic Rick, at least, is going to walk up and try to walk that wave in, knowing that someone on the side of Team Lemonade is going to have to deal with that bot turret engage attempt by Team Lemonade. Doesn't quite pay dividends. Microsoft Rick there, gets a great ultimate down onto Music and Speedy. Speedy gets boomerang bladed on the crit. Exhaust goes down to I'll take mid, but he doesn't care at this point. It's a triple kill for Tail Whip. It is a deja vu, and it is going to be the pentakill. Flame Horizon, pentakill. That's going to be more than likely the win for INT. A clean 2-0, and Tail Whip just throwing the team on his back. Although, honestly, he could have ridden on someone's back just throwing those boomerang blades. Incredible play by INT. What a turnaround for them this season.
Yeah, I mean, that was just, again, a good ult by Rick in a position to do what he needs to do, knock up a couple of people, and INT takes the 2-0. With that, tell us what that means for playoff standings.
Oh, man. Okay, Mr. Producer, could I please get the playoff picture Rubik's Cube up once again? So with INT winning, their fate is basically in the San Antonio Spurs' hand. If the San Antonio Spurs win against Joa,
which is tomorrow,
the San Antonio Spurs will take the number 2 seed. If Joa upsets the San Antonio Spurs, INT will take the number 2 seed and the second round bye. So their fate is still not in their hands. But honestly, even if they did not get the first round bye, they are going to be a terrifying 3rd seed to go against.
Tail Whip with what, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times his lane opponent's damage. My goodness, you know, it sucks because I was thinking there at the end, man, I'd love to give this MVP to Rick because he's played so well. But how do we not give it to Tail Whip after carry on carry, ending the second game with a pentakill?
Rudy, we're the casters. We can do whatever we want. Do you want to give it to Rick? We can give it to Rick.
I do, but I want to give it to Rick because I think he played great there.
I agree.
Weak side king the entire time. But as we do, I also want to call out Tail. You did a great job there, man. That was nuts.
In most situations, we would give Tail Whip the MVP because he absolutely. You know what? Why don't we give it to 2 people? Let's give them to both.
Yeah. We'll bring them both in here. Come on.
There are no rules anymore. Hey guys, so we decided to break the rules and. You both are co-MVPs of this series. And we'll tell you why. Tail Whip, number 1, you just absolutely obliterated both games on the Sivir. Flame Horizon, second game. Insane damage, pentakill. Holy moly. But Rick, we got to call you out as not the unsung hero because we kept talking about it, absorbing an insane amount of pressure, taking a really negative matchup, taking 2 solo kills against you, game 2, and just turning it into some incredible team fights, getting your items, keeping up your farm, and frankly, out pushing Music in the mid to late game. Tail Whip, we'll start with you, and then Rick will go to you. So Tail Whip, how you feeling?
Well, first thing for clarification, I haven't had an interview yet this season, Mr. IREP. Trying to take my glory away from me. I worked so hard. Honestly, I gotta say, the only reason why I popped off today was because in our call, Spirit posted his power rankings for 80 carries, and he put me near the bottom, bro.
Oh, the disrespect.
Him and TJ put me near the bottom. I had to tell them they were wrong.
Well, you didn't have to tell them anything because a quadra kill in game 1, a pentakill in game 2, that dragon fight in game 1 off of that beautiful Renata ult. Talk us through the setup there.
I see hero, hit W on hero, they all go away.
Incredible.
That is exactly what happened.
Yeah, it's just my mind's blown by the chess game that you're playing. Anyway, Rick, going to you. Let's talk about game 1. On paper, Trundle, a bit of a tough matchup for the Cho'Gath. Early solo kill, turning it around, or not a solo kill, it was a jungle gank converted in his favor. You turned it around. You're both 1-1. How are you approaching that lane in order to make sure that the Trundle just doesn't get out of control?
Yeah, that was challenging. I really had to play back on that one, and I basically just had to use my Q to farm as much as possible, but also at the same time not trying to hit as many minions. I want to try to hit one at a time because I don't want to push the wave too fast. I want him crashing into me because if I get on his side of the map, then he could just put a pillar behind me, ult me, and I just slowly walk away, and die, of course. So yeah, tough. It was tough for sure, but I did get some help from Evelyn to help me keep some pressure. So much appreciated for that. But yeah, that was not a fun lane. Neither
Speaking
game
of
was a fun
Evelyn,
lane.
I can't
Yeah.
wait for Creighton to go to sleep. Holy, my man is tired.
Oh,
Yeah,
he
Yeah, I
kept
mean,
saying
he
that.
did kind of int on the Evelyn, but we
Oh,
don't have to talk
he
about
ended
that.
on
You guys
both
got
the games.
you
What are you
guys
talking
you
about?
guys got the win. Let's focus on the positives right
Yeah.
now. So Rick, you did
Hey,
great
Tail,
on the
Crittian's not getting
Cho'Gath.
interviewed right now, okay?
Yeah, but Creighton's my MVP. I'm interviewing him.
That's
Yeah,
very,
No, you're
that's very
not.
true.
Tail up. It's Rick's turn to talk. Be quiet.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
When I
Alright.
have opportunities to walk around as Cho'Gath and eat the epic monsters, I'm in a good place because I was not getting stacks off Trundle. So I felt like the lane phase ended earlier than usual, so I was able to move around the map a lot and chomp on some epic monsters and get my size. And then at that point, it was just, where's Tail Whip? I just want to stand on top of him and hope for the best.
Yeah, you certainly did, and you were able to not only protect your carries but secure objectives. You mentioned we saw Evelyn without smite. Y'all were taking Baron. I got a little worried, and then I realized you have a Cho'Gath, so you have a built-in smite, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
In that game too, let's talk about it. 2 early solo kills against you. Music's diving you, and you just keep punishing him on the attempted turret take, and
Yeah.
then so that was great. Let's talk about that. And then I got to talk about the outer wave control because it just seems like you had his number. And every time they were trying to make a play, you were pushing a side wave. You already got to inhibitor.
Yeah. So that Sejuani, like, I gotta go back and watch how that champion's played because I'd never expect what the heck that champion was doing to me. It was brutal. But yeah, she did get greedy and she tried to finish off the 5th plate and get that first turret. I don't know if it was the first turret, but she was trying to get that last plate, and that was a little greedy. I was able to just alter and kill her, and that kind of evened things out. But yeah, that got to give credit to Music X for that because he was definitely making my life pretty miserable in the top lane.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, creating pressure. Yes, I think once Sivir or Tail Whip, which first I haven't said it yet, but shout out Tail Whip. He definitely deserves the MVP because incredible job by him. But yeah, once he was able to leave his lane, which he was a substantial lead, then I felt like there was more pressure around the map and I was kind of able to do whatever I wanted. Since I'm just basically a teleport and ult away from being involved in any fight.
Yeah, and do whatever you wanted. You did exactly what you needed to do. Those were both some really just great games to watch. Talk to me about the 2v2 in the bot lane, Tailip. It seemed like the entire time you guys you had the push, you had the pressure. I think Lemon and Speedy finished with no kill participation across the entire second game. We didn't spend a lot of time watching down there in game 2 because there was a lot of action happening on the rest of the map. But how did that go for you?
Well, the lane was even up until a point where they took the first dragon, and Speedy stayed to help kill the dragon, and he didn't get his recall off. So I had a full item on him, and that translated to minimum, or not full item, but I had Noon Quiver, he had nothing, and that turned into minimum 20 farm, like 2 plates or something like that.
Yeah, and that ended with you Flame Horizoning him with over 10 CS a minute when the game ended, I think. So honestly, just great, great carry out of you. Yeah, I mean, great game, boys. That's about all I got for you.
Yeah.
Unless you have anything you want to tell us.
I was gonna say, Tail Whip, any last words for your adoring fans at home?
Well, I got 2 things. First off, that was my first pentakill in TCL somehow.
Yeah, great Penta.
Took forever.
Great Penta.
Yeah, that felt good. And
Second one, we're at double digits for Seraphim bans now, boys. We're at 10. Let's go.
Also, you would have had a Penta in the first game if Tiny
Don't
Rick
remind me.
hadn't
Yeah.
knocked
Don't
away
remind
the
me.
first
Oh.
time.
I had 2
Yeah,
quads
ate
that
the
game.
Rammus.
Pretty sure I had 2 quads that game. Or like 2 quads in
Yeah.
both these games. So
But it's
at least.
okay. You finished on a high note, and what a high note it is. You just got to be cheering for the San Antonio Spurs to take a dive tomorrow. Not that they ever throw a game. Not what I meant. Bad choice of
no.
words.
That
But
will never
with
happen.
that, you would secure the bye and be well on your way to a championship contention.
Very well. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Shout out to the opponent, Tony's team. They played well, really well. Both games, I thought they started the games really hot. We were starting to get on our heels a little bit, but I guess we ended up taking advantage of the team play time of the game.
Yeah.
But shout out to them. They had a great game. Great series.
Could
Good
not
stuff,
agree more.
boys.
Thank you all so much. Go
GGs.
celebrate with your team. Breaking the
I may have been trying to get Tail up out of here and dragged you. That's my bad, Joss.
doing the exact same got dragged. So yeah, Rudy, you know what? It's TCL. We make the rules here. We're on broadcast, and while normally I definitely want to go with one MVP. It's fun to call out, tail up with the flashy, with the deeps, with the flash play. But then Rick just, it's the weak side warriors. As a weak side warrior myself, we don't always get a lot of credit. You see deaths, you see a lot of early tower takes, and Rick really showed how you can be a true weak side warrior, owning the outer lane, hitting his ultimates and his CC where he needed to be, and just being an absolute nuisance across. It was just so much fun to watch.
Yeah, and then on a team, when you get it to a victory like that, there's going to be MVPs across the board, right? Everyone just looks so good when you're stomping like that, or winning like that. It wasn't a stomp by any means. Great early game both times from Lemon, but just another shout out to tactical tactician there. Did such a good job in the support, unsung hero on the Renata and then the Lulu, but solid game that allowed the Sivir to do what she wanted in both games.
Yes, and as we mentioned, INT, they have done everything that they can to set up a first round bye. Tomorrow, as we keep Super Week rolling, day 4 of Super Week, we are going to see the team that can get them over there or the team that can totally ruin their day and make them play this weekend. If the San Antonio Spurs tomorrow win, INT is knocked back to the 3rd seed. If Team Joa wins, INT secures that number 2 bye. So that is going to be happening tomorrow night at 7:30, I believe, a little bit different from our normal 8 p.m. Eastern start. I'm going to be there. Rudy, I hope you're going to be there. And for all of you watching at home, I hope you are there as well. Shout out to Droid on the production. Rudy, any final words before we call it a night?
GG's, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
I could not say it better myself. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you tomorrow.